Hey everybody, it's the Champ Jeter, otherwise known as the Champ of ProWrestling.com discussion forums, and I'm here to give you guys a little SmackDown review since I've been inspired from seeing so many wrestling-related YouTube videos, all these reviews, and videos about how much Randy Orton sucks, which are pretty funny by the way. I highly recommend the Off the Rope show's rant about 15 reasons Randy Orton sucks. Very entertaining. But anyway, I've been inspired by these videos, so I've decided to make my own. Don't know how long this is going to last. Could be a one-time deal. Could be a year-long thing. Could make them every week for the next year. Who fucking knows? Anyway, I decided that none of you will receive the privilege of seeing my face. Mainly because, one, you don't deserve to, and two, I'm in the early stages of pink eye, and that shit is fucking disgusting. Nobody wants to see that, so I'm actually doing you all a favor. So instead, you can just look at this nice little picture of John Cena with his 8th WWE Championship at Extreme Rules. So, tonight on SmackDown, it was an interesting show. It was the second show since the draft, which means that a lot of new guys got to show themselves in front of a new audience. It was also the first episode since Extreme Rules, where the most newsworthy event of that pay-per-view was Christian finally winning his first ever World Heavyweight Championship in a 13-year career. A lot of people thought that Christian was never going to do it. He did. He won the belt, defeated Alberto Del Rio in a very, very good ladder match. I would even say that it was definitely the best match of that pay-per-view and one of the best matches of the year so far. So SmackDown started off with Christian coming out and celebrating, thanking his retired best friend Edge, thanking his peeps for supporting him throughout the years, and all that stuff. He was very emotional, which it was really cool to see someone who's so deserving get that moment and seem genuinely emotional about it. He seemed really real, and it was good. But then we had this big, jolly old fat man, Mark Henry, interrupting, a guy who hasn't been relevant in 5 years and gave The Undertaker his worst WrestleMania match in like the last few years. He wants a world championship shot because apparently he's deserving of a push now. Then we had the Great Khali coming out. That made things even more interesting. He wanted a world title shot. This motherfucker was dressed up in a tutu on Raw during The Rock's birthday bash, and now he wants a world heavyweight title shot, which is pretty funny. So then you had the Randroid himself, Randy Orton, come out, cut a little boring, monotone promo about how he thought he deserved a shot at Christian's belt. Pretty much your generic, everybody wants a shot at the title segment here. Nothing too special. Teddy Long comes out, lets the people decide between the Red Kool-Aid Man, the Indian Tooth Fairy, or the second most popular babyface in the WWE as to who was going to face Christian. We all know how they were going to vote. They picked Orton, and the main event was set for Randy Orton versus Christian for the World Heavyweight Championship. We'll get to that later on. Decent enough opening segment. The Christian part was definitely the most entertaining when he was out there by himself. I might have given him a little more time to talk, but it was good nonetheless. Then we had Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan, both new draft picks to SmackDown, but they were also feuding over on Raw, which is sort of similar to the Rey Mysterio Alberto Del Rio situation from this week on Raw. Apparently they're going to start another feud, which I don't really get because the draft is supposed to be like new landscapes, free show, new feuds, new opportunities, and we have these motherfuckers rehashing the same feud they did on SmackDown 6 months ago. And then we have Sheamus and Daniel Bryan wrestling another match, even though they've been wrestling on Raw for like the past month. So, anyway, putting that rant aside, it was a good match, and Sheamus won with a pair of brogue kicks. Now, I think Sheamus should be in the main event, and I don't really understand why he's still wrestling in the mid-card. He's been there pretty much the whole 2011 so far after holding the WWE Championship twice in 2010. I hope he gets back up to where he was because there's really no competition for that top heel spot on SmackDown unless they give it to Mark Henry, which would be retarded. So good match. then Cody Rhodes came out and cut pretty much the same promo that he's been cutting for weeks now about his mental scarring. People should wear brown paper bags, blah blah blah. They stole that gimmick from TNA, by the way, which is pretty sad because usually it's TNA that's stealing stuff from WWE, but WWE stole those brown paper bags from TNA. The beautiful people did it a lot better and looked a lot better when they were doing it. But hopefully they give Cody Rhodes some direction now because his rivalry with Rey Mysterio produced some very good matches, and he improved a lot. I always thought he was far better than Ted DiBiase, and he really proved me right over the last year or so. But hopefully they keep him with some kind of momentum and don't do like they've done with so many other guys where they push him for a while and then just like right back down the crapper, which is kind of what's happened to Sheamus and what's happened to another guy on SmackDown, Wade Barrett. We'll get to that in a minute because it was Ezekiel Jackson versus one half of the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, The Big Show. And, you know, when you have two guys, two huge, like, big, muscular guys, well, Zeke's more muscular than Show, but two really big guys facing off in a match, you don't expect that much. But it was nothing special. It was nothing terrible either. Zeke won, and then they ran an angle where the Core basically beat the shit out of him and kicked him out. Now, I just hope the Core just ends, like, period, soon. Or at the very least, I want Wade Barrett to be the focus of it, because Wade Barrett was the most over the hottest heel on Raw last summer when he was feuding with John Cena as the leader of the Nexus. And when he went to SmackDown, they dropped the ball with him so badly. I don't know what the hell he did. I don't know if he pissed somebody off backstage or if they're just going through one of those creative periods where they have nothing for you. But they really need to get him back on track because he could be a huge moneymaker. He has excellent promo skills and pretty passable in-ring skills. He's not great in the ring, but he's passable, and he'll only get better if they actually give him a chance to show what he's made of in the ring more often. But anyway, nice segment there. Looks like Ezekiel Jackson is turning babyface. Hopefully he gets a decent push. I like the guy. Then we had a Divas match. Nobody gave a shit because it was only 1 minute long. The only thing people cared about was Karma coming out after the match and destroying Alicia Fox. Alicia tried to fight back, which I thought was pretty funny, until Karma just crushed her and apparently legitimately injured her, which kind of sucks. But Karma's been pretty impressive so far. I hope she continues to just beat people up, and maybe this will actually get some interest in the women's division, because I've heard from a lot of people that this is the most interested they've been in divas or women's wrestling in a long time, because there really hasn't been a lot to get interested in over the last few years. They're just like 2-minute matches on Raw with Eve Torres and the Bella Twins and Kelly Kelly and whoever the fuck the divas are nowadays. And sometimes they're like moderately entertaining if they're actually given 5 minutes, but usually not. So then we had Sin Cara versus Tyson Kidd. Now, Tyson Kidd, he just came over from Raw to SmackDown, but I don't know what the hell he was doing because I hadn't seen him on Raw in ages. I guess he was on Superstar wrestling with people like Yoshitatsu, Evan Bourne, all those guys that aren't getting pushed right now. And, of course, Zack Ryder, the Long Island IC, who really should be a main eventer, but what are you going to do? He's stuck in mid-card hell on Superstar, low mid-card hell on Superstars, and on YouTube, where he is the WWE Internet Champion. Alright, so I'll stop my Zack Ryder ass-kissing for a sec to talk about the actual match. Chavo Guerrero was out there for commentary, didn't know he was still employed. Sin Cara won with his kick-ass finisher, and then he and Chavo shook hands. I guess there's going to be some type of feud between them two. I don't know how that's going to go. Hopefully they don't make Chavo look like that much of a joke, like when he was losing to Hornswoggle every fucking week. And some retard started a petition to get the feud to stop because apparently he thought somebody cared about his opinion. But let's not get into that. So then we had the main event of Christian versus Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight Championship. Good match, not as good as Cena versus Miz from Raw, but definitely the best match of the night. Randy Orton won after he RKO'd Christian coming off the top rope and became the new World Heavyweight Champion. Christian's reign technically lasted 5 days, really only lasted 2 days because this show was taped on Tuesday. So yeah, he pretty much had a 2-day title reign, which is lame. But it seems like they're going to continue this somehow because they were focusing on Christian a lot after the match. So I think, even though I completely understand the outrage that's been happening throughout the internet since the spoilers broke that Christian had lost the championship, I think we should give WWE a little bit of a chance, see where they're going with this. And if they push Christian back down to the mid-card and he never gets the belt again, then I don't blame anyone for saying, fuck you WWE, you're retarded. Christian deserves better. And he does. But, either way, he's been World Heavyweight Champion. Nobody can ever take that away from him. So even if it was only for 2 days, it was still a great moment at Extreme Rules with him and Edge. So yeah, it was an alright episode of SmackDown tonight. Not a whole lot got accomplished, but this was more like one of those shows like after the draft for like people to get feuds going as opposed to like continuing, because now everybody's gotten splitting up. Like Orton and Punk got split up their feuds over. Rey Mysterio and Cody Rhodes got split up their feuds over. Christian and Alberto Del Rio got split up their feuds over. So now everybody has to like find new people to have matches with, and that's gonna take a while to get ball rolling a little bit. So it wasn't an outstanding show, but it was passable, and I enjoyed seeing a lot of the new SmackDown superstars. So thanks for whoever is watching, listening, completely zoning out, falling asleep. As long as you clicked the video and gave me a view, I'm happy. Before I go, just gotta say one more thing. Take care. Spike your hair.